Hey, how you doing today? My name is Harry McGraw, and we have a new show today. It's called the McGraw Report, episode 4. Today we have our guest today, Fred Hampton Jr., correct?
Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., all due respect.
All due respect,
yes,
all due respect to you too, brother.
Yes,
now today is going to be a really, really interesting show. We're going to do some background on who Fred Hampton was in Chicago, how he impacted Chicago, and we're going to talk to Fred Hampton Jr., and ask him how he feels about what's going on in Chicago, what he feels about the Kanye situation, his perspective. Okay?
No
Now, before we get started, can you tell some background on who you are and where you came from and what you come here to speak about today?
Well, I'm Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I'm the son of Chairman Fred Hampton and also of Akua and Jerry. Her name was formerly Deborah Johnson. Chairman Fred was the deputy chairman for the state of Illinois for the Black Panther Party, which actually was the largest chapter of the Black Panther Party in the country, but the world. Our president and the chairman of the Black Panther Party Cubs, an organization that we say is a tough act to follow. We carry on the legacy of the Black Panther Party. I was here today, and was a pressing campaign we're doing right now is in regards to the dynamic about the Save the Hampton House.
Save the Hampton House,
yes,
okay.
That's in response to a pending, you know what I'm saying, like literally over our head, pushing about, there was a pending auction date, October 23rd, Tuesday, for the house to be sold. The house in which Chairman Fred grew up in. Is
this on the west side of Chicago?
No, this actually is in Maywood. The house he was assassinated is on the west side of Chicago. You know, the house that he grew up in was right there in Maywood on 17th, right on 17th and Warren.
All right.
Exact address 804 South 17th Avenue. This is the same home in which across the street, the elementary school, Irving Elementary School. He attended that school. Proviso East, that's the high school that he attended.
All right.
And the infamous Good Humor ice cream truck robbery. He was framed with, it was the government had said he's supposed to $75 worth of ice cream and gave to the children.
Right.
That happened right, you know, less than a block from the house.
Block from the house.
Yeah, it's neat. So. We've been on the campaign again to save the Hampton House. We got a GoFundMe up. GoFundMe.com.
We definitely gonna talk about that.
Yes, indeed.
On wrapping up the show.
Okay.
Save the Hampton House.
Yes,
that's what we're gonna talk about today.
Yes.
Now, just to talk about who is Fred Hampton for the listeners and for the viewers, because we're live on the air and we're also streamed as well. And right now we're with the chairman. So let's look at Wikipedia. What do you got to say? Fred Hampton was an African-American activist and revolutionary, chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. Very, very important. And a deputy chairman of the national BPP. Hampton and a fellow Black Panther, Mark Clark, were killed during a raid by a tactical unit of the Cook County, Illinois State Attorney Office. In conjunction with the Chicago Police Department and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in December 1969. Now, brother, you look very, very young. Very, very young man. Now, were you around when this happened with your father?
You know, I was actually born approximately 2.5 weeks later.
Okay.
But even discussing with the Wikipedia, it really is like it's intertwines the importance about this Saving the Hampton House, this museum.
All right.
It's gonna be a historical museum. Because a lot of people are in a position that they have no other options.
Okay.
You know, simply go check on Wikipedia, so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
We are fortunate to have, you know what I'm saying, entity, and I'm saying it's our humble individuals. The widow of Chairman Fred, who was actually there when he was assassinated, and in fact covered over his body when the police came in shooting.
Wow.
You know, a few years back, it was a big uproar. A lot of people tried to devalue it as a rap beef between myself and Jay-Z. You can actually Google this.
Okay.
I mean, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and also Jay-Z. And it comes up about when he had made reference, he said he arrived the same day Fred Hampton died. And the song Murders of Excellence.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
Your favorite song. So
yeah.
you remember the piece?
Watch the Throne.
You remember that piece you said he arrived the same day?
Yes. I arrived when Fred Hampton died.
Now, a lot of people like that lyric, but however, we take this offense to the legacy. Because though he was born December the 4th, 1969, the same day Chairman Fred was assassinated. Now see, even that term, even when Wikipedia say killed, we understand the political significance of the terms.
Absolutely.
Because he was assassinated. I mean, because say hypothetically speaking,
yes,
Jay-Z would never reference the community that Laocoons is a descendant of.
He would never
say
that about that.
Never say that the Laocoons Laocoon, because you know Laocoon's grandfather is one of the quote-unquote founder of Tel Aviv, is one of the largest cities in Israel.
Right.
So he would never make reference to...
He's a Jewish guy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He would make no he would never say that they just passed away.
Absolutely.
In the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
You know what I'm saying?
Never.
So our community, the important significance of words and terms and titles. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're not familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I would say, black people in particularly treat like the Rodney Dangerfields of all races. No respect. So even. We have an opportunity to give it right from those people were there, as opposed to sufficing. Sometimes you say, okay, ain't no good food. I gotta eat this. Ain't no real information. Anybody talking about this?
Yes.
We have people right there talking that was there. We said, a lot of times we go for the other option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The sanitized or the state version.
Absolutely.
It's Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? Because there's opposed to saying, wait a minute. Every August 30th. You know what I'm saying? Right in front of the house, 2337 West Monroe, West Chairman Fred Hampton Way. The Black Panther Party members, the Black Panther Party clubs, the community is out there every December the 4th, the International Revolutionary Day. They're out there telling what's going on. Every Saturday, the Black Panther Party clubs is in some respective community, you know what I'm saying? Putting out the Triple C programs, you know what I'm saying?
Now, Fred, I really like what you're saying, brother. Now, one thing I'd like to ask you, too. Have Black Lives Matter contacted you or wanted to help your program that you're talking about today?
No, short of the answer, no.
Okay.
And you know what? That's not going to give you the absolute with that, because being that it's not, because a lot of people have the impression Black Lives Matter is like an actual organization. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really clear on the different dynamics of, you know what I'm saying? The individuals.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not that clean cut to say no, because there may have been people who may have been, you know what I'm saying? You follow what I'm saying? So without structure, it's hard for actual accountability. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the benefits of mindset or how you feel or organization, but as an entity, no.
Now, all the streaks of violence that have been going on throughout Chicago, just like the Jason Van Dyke verdict. How do you feel about that? That family finally got some justice, but it was a second-degree murder. Do you think it should have been a little bit more severe, or do you think justice was served?
Oh, no doubt about it, should have been more severe. In fact, our position was, in fact, we was right there at the courthouse, 26 in California.
Oh, you was there? Okay.
Black Panther Party cause we was there, and before that we was there. You know, what I'm saying, right there on Pulaski, the sites where he was gunned down there, and not just indicted, not just calling out the police. In fact, our position is that Jason Van Dyke, the Chicago police, they pulled the trigger. They shot him 16 times.
Wow.
He's guilty. However, the whole system is guilty of conspiracy.
Absolutely.
And not just, not just the usual suspects, not just the judges and, you know what I'm saying, Anita Alvarez and the different people that was involved in this dynamic. The media, you feel what I'm saying? The different GMOs, what have you. GMOs, the government-made organizations who were raised up to contend in the real resistance.
Absolutely.
For example, the emails that revealed corresponding from Chicago Sun-Times.
Okay.
And the emails that the Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
A lot of hiding.
Chicago sometimes revealed the emails from Mayor Rahm Emanuel to many so-called activists, many community leaders in our community that was told on how to protest, when those do not let the word out, what color T-shirts to wear, what pictures of Laquame down the carry. You know what I'm saying? Where to march on the Gold Coast. So it's not just, like I said, it's not. We talk about the system, not just the usual suspects, but you know what I'm saying, not just James Van Dyke, but all those who are complicit with that crime.
Wow. See, that's pretty breaking. I think a lot of viewers that's watching this didn't even know the mayor's involvement with getting involvement in these rallies. You know, thinking that, you know, it's like they're in on like double agents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a really interesting topic.
Yeah.
Definitely really interesting topic. Another situation I want to ask you, brother. What does the Black Panther movement mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Well, not to me. I don't say. You know, like I struggle if ever. I struggle against speaking subjectively. In other words, you never hear me say the police killed my daddy. You never hear me talk about this Hampton House like this is my personal situation. We say the government assassinated Chairman Fred. You feel what I'm saying? So even the Black Panther Party, it's a definition for the Black Panther Party. A lot of people say, well, to me it means this. To me, I mean, there's a definition when you go to auto mechanic. You say, okay, get your carburetor fixed. What do you have? It's not, what type of car do you think you have? I have a Chevrolet.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So people say, okay, I'm going to Ramadan. Okay, what you know what I'm saying? You're Shia, Sunni, what type of Muslim? It's a concrete definition for that. With the Black Panther Party, there is a definition for the Black Panther Party. It was a revolutionary organization. You know what I'm saying? They fought for their precious entity of self-determination. But a lot of times when it comes to that, people say, well, to my mind, it means this. And the state knew what it was. In fact, are you familiar with the COINTEL program?
I'm not familiar. You can tell me a little more about it?
COINTEL Pro was a program, an acronym for Counterintelligence Program, a program in which was architected by Deputy Director FBI William Sullivan.
How long ago was this?
Actually, in official form, we talking about 1967. However, mind you, prior to that, the counterinsurgency has been attacking us ever since. Saying Europe first. Man, white folks put their foot on Africa. It's anything that we do to fight back they counter that. You know what I'm saying? So, but in official capacity, the entity that was responsible for this mountain of Marcus Garvey, UNIE. You know what I'm saying? Responsible for the flooding our communities with dope and the different forms what we refer to as plantation poison. But the COINTELPRO was an actual program which the federal government itself said a program which was created to discredit, to demise, and disrupt and destroy any black nationalist movements, especially amongst who? The youth. Over 90% of it was directed at who? The Black Panther Party. Obviously, the Black Panther Party just faded away. No, they can't. They knew to kill. They knew to assassinate. How to do it. Who to raise up. You know what I'm saying? What type of music to put up. You know what I'm saying? All this was part of the infamous COINTEL program. The way that they assassinated Chairman Fred was strategically. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They gunned him down for approximately 4:35 in the morning. Chicago police had paraded his body out. They were singing. They was chanting, "Chairman Fred is dead." You know what I'm saying? They even say Chairman Fred. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people can't say the state. No, this was the biggest. It was an official organization. You know what I'm saying? And see, it was an organization that again that fought on its own terms. You ever heard of Bernadette Devlin?
I heard about it, but I don't know a little bit more about it.
This goes into, you mentioned Kanye West earlier. See,
yeah, I'm gonna speak about that a little bit later.
I'm gonna speak about it before this situation here.
Okay.
Kanye West, when he said what he said about George Bush, not liking black people.
Correct.
A lot of people think that it just happened out of his own volition. That was a result of the Black Panther Party Cubs having a conversation with him downtown at Borders Bookstore in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, but this came after I'm telling Kanye West about Bernadette Devlin, which was the IRA, Irish Republican Army, and she talked about how the mayor of New York gave her the keys to the city, and she turned the keys over to the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? She talked, you know what I'm saying? So that dynamic, you know what I'm saying, that conversation, you know what I'm saying, encouraged him to do what he did that time.
That moment, yeah.
George Bush, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Kanye West's father was supposedly involved with the Black Panther movement. Is that correct?
See, now it's ironic that you pick your words carefully just then. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, you said involved.
That was conscious.
That was conscious? Because initially they were saying what? They was a Black Panther.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Now, we in Chicago. You grew up in Chicago?
I'm from Chicago.
So you probably from a different area.
From the South Side.
South Side, but Chicago is really known for structure. It's not like it used to be no more.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? But it was like a big. I mean, what side of town? You just can't say meet me on 55th. What side of the boulevard?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You on the wrong side. It's a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? It's a structure. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The different. It used to be town. Which way you wear your hat? All that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that structure. So even the terms, like people, like a lot of places you can go places. Oh yeah, I think it was the black, no slight, like people say in New York, they think Jay-Z was a 5%. You don't think nobody nothing in Chicago. It's a 5-minute check. You can make a phone call. Who is that? You know what I'm saying? So. And it's ironic that initially people saying he was a member of the Black Panther Party, and we had a conversation with him about that. It's not hard to check who was in the Black Panther Party, who wasn't in the Black Panther Party.
Correct.
So regard, and even I'm gonna go as far as say this. You have to be questioned about certain terms like we support and that. Cause I see now people right now, people who I know they're gonna be raising up. People, like, especially with all the social media, you can associate different names. Like we fighting to say the Hampton House right now.
Okay.
Lupe Fiasco got an album out with a song called Chairman Fred's Speeches.
Yes, he does.
Okay, so now
the newest one.
The newest one.
Yeah.
Now this person could say, okay, that's support You know what I'm saying?
That's support.
You think so? No, it's not. Because the deal is we do. No,
it's awareness, though.
No, it's not. Did it see if it's not connected? See, that's what not connected to some concrete, tangible reality. You know what I'm saying? It could, so this was the whole deal about subjectivity. You know, well, I feel I was doing the right thing. There's an actual That's why I started. Is the actual definition for the Black Panther Party. If you just throwing stuff that's not connected to something that's, you know what I'm saying? That's it may benefit you.
Now, just to make sure that I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Now, Lupe Fiasco is one of my opinion, one of the top 10 most influential artists in Chicago of all time. Now, him acknowledging Fred Hampton anything.
No trip, comrade.
I'm good.
The line's finna be drawn, the consciousness will be exposed.
Let's go. Now, him acknowledging Fred Hampton anything because
it's a line why you can't be cool, comrade. It's a line.
Now,
this has to be necessary. This is necessary.
Because it's very necessary.
Yes, it's necessary.
Because unfortunately, you know, parents and this generation, our mothers, not saying my mother, but a lot of family is not teaching their young about Fred Hampton, not teaching their young about the struggle, Black Panther and stuff like that. So to have an artist on Lupe Fiasco's caliber to just acknowledge just the name can have people to go read into what's going on. You know, because some people get paid to say anything. They're walking, everything is monetized. You know, some businesses don't even like you wearing things or even saying certain things because you're directing attention to something. So just my perception is just mentioning makes people want to do their homework. Even typing in on Google, if I type in Lupe Fiasco's Fred Hampton, it's going to be some positive things about Fred Hampton. It might be a different type of information about Fred Hampton, but the whole cause is who is him, what happened, what is going on.
Now, so a lot of people took a position. I'm sure a lot of people took a position. Why would Chairman Fred get upset about Jay-Z? Mention Chairman Fred. A lot of people say you should be happy that he just mentioned your father's name. I'm cut from a different cloth. We cut from a different cloth. We cut from a cloth of repercussions. You know what I'm saying? We cut another community, other nationalities. They hold people accountable. You want to see, a lot of people wonder why black people, even these children, have a disdain for other people.
The culture is definitely different. I agree on that.
Even in the relationship, accountability. Black people is somehow say, well, just as long as you got that. You know, no other community is told vote or die. You know what I'm saying? No other community say lesser two evil. You know what I'm saying? Our community, you know what I'm saying? I told this type of nonsense. Let's go, Elian Gonzalez, the baby from Cuba, years ago. It was a big. The U.S. tried to kidnap the baby Elian Gonzalez in Florida. It was a big case about him.
Okay.
The community in Florida, they told them, the people from, they said, we're going to make Daniel Garcia and Gloria Estefan come stand with us.
Okay.
They said, you have to stand with us. Our community say, long as a robber can benefit, and it's also it's a class contradiction. I mean by that, see, when Rick Ross, the rapper, when he used Chairman Bobby Seale's excerpt from his speeches inside his song, with the producer, he had no concept. He didn't care. It was just a record deal. In fact, the ones who control him say put it out there. A lot of people in the quote unquote conscious community, you know what I'm saying? I call it like an abstract consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? People who this is a lot of the conscious artists are guilty of. It's an uncontested conditions. You know what I'm saying? That means, you know what I'm saying? It's like a shadow boxer who never gets in the boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? Shadow boxing never get in the boxing ring. So you never get that. We dealing with contested conditions. I'm dealing with children who have to deal with some real deal realities. I'm dealing with a legacy of an individual who organized the Real Deal Rainbow Coalition. I'm talking about an individual the young patriots, group of poor whites who were so reactionary at the time, they were wearing Confederate flags in their jackets. Chairman Fred won certain points of political unity. I'm talking about the legacy of an individual who the FBI, the federal government told the vice lords they would get them 16th Street if the Black Panther Party could not open a free medical center on 16th Street. Okay. Chairman Fred warned them to appoint a unity where they worked the free medical center. I ain't just talking about talking. It got funky. You feel what I'm saying? I'm talking about an individual who politicized the formerly known devil disciple, before the black disciple, before the gangster disciple, with the devil, the black disciples got up publicly and said, we now renounce ourselves to be known as the black disciples due to political education that we received from Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Party. A legacy that, you know what I'm saying, that forced James Brown to say I'm black and I'm proud. He had a whole totally different, Emmanuel Jamil Alameen, H.R. Brown, drove down on him. Now, with that reality, with that tangible contradiction, it's an insult to say, well, it's abstract. You feel what I'm saying? Just the mere mention of, you feel what I'm saying?
No, I feel what you're saying.
So you're dealing with blood, sweat, tears. Now that's the position. When you're not involved in it, it's well, I just made a song about Vietnam, and you wonder, Ho Chi Minh said, whoa, wait a minute. It's prostitutes over here who took American soldiers to bed and got down on them. You feel what I'm saying?
Now,
when you involved in this.
Fred, I respect everything you're saying, and what makes this world so great is everybody has to play their part. You know,
you're right.
You know that's what America's about. You know, everybody's cannot, and people opinions can be subjective at times.
And there's one fact. There's one fact.
For everyone that jumps, there's someone that crawls. Every person that crawls, someone's.
When you hold up his leadership. When you hold up, because ban you, there's a history of entertainers. Let's be clear. Let's go. Rome would take entertainers and use them to hijack. An interviewer asked Malcolm X, Jackie Robinson disagrees with your position about violence. Malcolm said, wait a minute, we don't quote no Bob Hope or no Marilyn Monroe for you. When you have entertainers, the Kaepernicks and Lupe Fiasco raised up as leadership, and it contend with people who out there organized who ain't got money to say the house with Chairman Fred is dealing with, it's a contradiction. You feel what I'm saying? When it's a question about what's the Vanguard Party, when you have people who are taking the bus, Chairman Fred's legacy fed over 3,500 children a week in the free breakfast program. Tell me how does an artist in an abstract type of way benefit continuing the programs of the Black Panther Party?
Wow.
I'll wait.
Now look, and I'm gonna tell you this, Fred. Now, Mr. Fred Hampton, what would you rather see?
What we gonna see? What we capable of doing? Up in the ante. You know what I'm saying? You can't play with no other people's history.
No, that's true.
But somehow it's a class arrogance and a race arrogance. You can feel people feel they can walk like the fraternities. They go check. Go on YouTube and type in my name. We check people selling Panther
apparel.
Go back and check. Okay. Go Google YouTube. Chairman Fred Hampton making a profit off of his turn. When it comes down to the reciprocal, well, that's at least they mentioned. It's called concrete, tangible assistance.
They're taking monetary.
Exactly, without no benefit to the community.
That's completely wrong.
You're damn right.
You ain't putting no boots on the soldier. You
damn right.
I don't care if you.
Now a groupie will see it differently. Well,
I'm gonna tell you this, Mr. Fred. I am very conscious of several of the things that you're talking about. Some of my mentors and people I'm inspired by is like Brother Polite, Sinetta. I'm very in tune to what them guys got going on. Red Pill, Blue Pill. Them guys are definitely raising awareness and bringing the same type of presence and the energy that you're bringing here. So I definitely appreciate.
When it comes to legacy, we out there in the
that's what they're fighting for.
I'm dealing with 17-year-old sisters in Cook County jail, forced of the sanitary napkins for reuse. We dealing with the Triple C programs out there with concrete, tangible support. We can debate what's in my mind. You know what I'm saying? When the paychecks come to Lupe Festival artists, they're not saying, oh, we just want you to be a nice thought. That's called a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? It's called resources. You know what I'm saying? So it's an insult to tell me at least they mention your name.
Understood. Yeah,
concrete, tangible resources support. Save the Hampton House. GoFundMe.com. Save the Hampton House. Concrete, tangible support. Support your troops.
Absolutely, support your troops.
The same way when the state tells them to go perform a benefit concert for somebody else, they do it.
Right.
Same way they go for Palestine, they do it. Concrete, tangible support. This is real deal warfare.
You hit around the money. Well, Fred, that's why we're here today. We're here today to see how can we move forward in helping what you got going on, and try to persuade some of the individuals that might see this. Lupe Fiasco might see, his cousin might see this, his uncle might see it.
He been tweeted. We have Derek. We know these people, brother.
No. I hear you saying.
Just because you hearing this conversation first time, I mean they heard the conversation first time.
Nah, I definitely hear you that.
Retweet them. Tweet Beyonce, Kaepernick, Lupe Fiasco. Call the question. Where are you at on the Save the Hampton House campaign? Point blank.
Now, one thing that we do got going on, because I'm very involved in the youth, far as the music industry. I'm talking about like the young guys that did the gang bang or whatever. I'm very tied into that. Now, is there any type of thing that you will? What's your perception on how these young brothers should move, because right now it's generational homicide. They're killing each other. The babies killing the babies. It's just a lot going on.
It's called generational genocide.
Generational genocide. There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you know how crazy your time? You're going to say it again. You're going to say homicide again. Because a lot of people subscribe to that so-called black on black crime. So we go bigger than that. So we know the history of Chicago. We know the University of Chicago, Sears and Roebuck, First National Bank, Rockefeller Foundation, who really responsible for the Stone Disciples. See, you would look at Rwanda and say Hutus and Tutsis kill each other. We know the Belgium and the French set it up. We know the road. We know that Chief Keef. Go Google my name. We know he wasn't even going from 62nd and 67 hosted by himself. Jimmy Iovine took him out of New York by $10,000 worth of Gucci belts. Norfolk Railroad. Every week dropping, you know what I'm saying, assault rifles in the baby's hand. Same time the record release of Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying, Chirac. This strategic. We call the question on the real string pullers with this here. And we also call the question who's complicit without call, you know what I'm saying, I don't care if they conscious or not.
Now before we get off the air, because we only got like 1 minute left, just real brief and short. How can some individuals can contact you? Do you have a Facebook, an Instagram, do you have a website? Because I'm also going to try to redirect some of these young guys that are just trying to make an impact on the music industry that needs to link up with individuals like you to actually make a change.
On Instagram, Freedom On Radio, Facebook, Fred Hampton, email Chairman Fred Jr. at Gmail. I'm on SoundCloud, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. on SoundCloud.
All right.
We know how to find. I'm in the streets. I'm in the office. I'm at 804 South 17th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois. We out there in the community. The streets is our office. Work out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Catch us. We out there moving the people, organize people. What's the call? Free them all. Hashtag Save the Hampton House.
All right. Well, that seemed like that's going to be the rest of the show today. If you want to know more information on how to contact Fred Hampton, please go to www.themcgrawfoundation.com. We have a contact tab there. Shoot me a message, and we'll definitely get Fred Hampton Jr. Your information.
If they had Mayor around Mayor, he'll be saying Mayor, Father. He'll say Father Flagler, but he can't say Chairman. The chairman in the building, y'all. Free them all to call. The people make us the chairman of the state. What's the call? Free them all.
Free them all.
Absolutely.
Free them all.
Y'all have a good night today. All right.